Pooh.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Success. I am your fabulous host, Jamila. I have my co-host here with me this evening, LC. What is up, LC?
What's going on, everybody?
Today, I am going to talk about success. The reason why I call it success is because I want to know about different businesses, how they became, about how they got into it, and different authors. So, business and authors, how they became or what made them do what they did. My first guest today is the one and only, my cousin, and he's a powerful mind, Dexter Acklin. Hey, cuz, what's up?
Hey, what's going on?
What is up? I heard you are fired.
You got what?
I heard you are fired.
Oh, Jesus is fire.
Amen to that one. So, Dex, what got you into mind dancing?
Actually, this is quite a funny story. At first, I refused it. It was brought to me back in 2000, and I got in the church. He introduced it to me, and I told him no because I had a wrapped up hold. And luckily, they kept pushing. So I finally did one dance. And, we didn't have the paint on our face or gloves at that time. We were just dancing music. But as it progressed, they introduced me to a group on video cassette by the name of K&K Mine. Mm-hmm. And I liked what they did, so we started doing their songs at our church. And people received it, And starting out, you like for people to receive you. But, it led to me liking the craft of it, trying to take a song and craft it to what a message to what you want the people to understand from that song, without you speaking. So it involved a lot of work behind the scenes, and I like that part. I like that challenge. And I began to get into it, and then another aspect was presented to me, which was sermonettes. And that's what I deal heavily in now. And that's been since 2000, and here it is, 2019, and I'm still pushing it.
You know what? That is so awesome. So I read you had got to work alongside the mother of gospel, Shirley Caesar. What? How was that for you?
Oh man, it was kind of mind blowing, but I didn't have that much time to be kind of awestruck because she was so down to earth. How I was introduced to her was through a great apostle out of Farmville named Apostle Aaron McNair Sr. And it was his banquet, and she was there, and it was kind of casually introduced me to her right then. And she was a very funny lady, very down to earth, but she's very serious about what she does. Mm-hmm. And what she picks out is anybody who's serious about their craft. She applauds them. She praises them. And she told me she enjoyed it. And she just told me to keep going. And since then, I've been back to her church twice. So, I didn't have time to get awestruck. She's just like one of the grandmas in the community that you see around that's very predominantly known in the community that does great work. Mm. She's one of those, but on a national level.
Oh, yeah. So, that was amazing. So, I read that you have a beautiful wife and 3 kids, I'm assuming?
Yep. That is Zarian, Zachary, and Zayden, all boys. And my wife is Brittany Acklin.
No girls?
Say again?
No girls?
Say again? Nah, never be a girl over here.
I done said that 3 times and you still asking the same question.
Hey, look, Des, I got a question, man. I want to ask you.
What's it?
I know you said you started off, mom, and you was doing songs, and then you switched it over to doing sermonettes. Which one you like the best? You think it's better to put in that sermonette to give the crowd that full sermon singing type idea, or you think it's best just to stick to a song?
It depends on the person with their style. Me, sermons I think really stuck with me because it kind of introduced me to my next calling. So I love the word. I love studying it. I love teaching it. I love speaking about it. I love professing it. You know, I just love the word. So a craft where the word is already professed and I get to carry it to different people who may have never heard it, but through a different art form. You know, sometimes it's better receptive from people who hasn't, sat under a preacher. They may be visual learners, and this is how God gets to those people. He's very multi-dimensional. He's not one-dimensional. He has many different ways of coming at you. And I would like to think that sermons in mine is the word in motion. So I think for me, sermons.
Okay. And I see that you call yourself the minister of mine. Does that mean that you are a minister?
Yeah, actually, I do not possess the title of minister, but I do the work of a minister, of the evangelist, of ambassadors. The Bible said we are ambassadors of Christ. And if you look up an ambassador, what their job title, what it entails, or what they do, they go from place to place and they represent a country or a person, or say if you're the Queen of England, they represent that person and they carry a message and they act on the behalf of who sent them. And that's who we are in the body of Christ. I act on the behalf of Christ, and that is ministry. That is evangelism. That's where that feels. So when I say the minister of mine, it goes into the calling that he's placed on me, but then it also denotes, what I mainly do in the song, which is sermons. Back in my day when I started doing it, it was just songs. It was sermonettes. I wasn't the first one to do a sermonette. I want to put that out there. I was not the first one to do a sermonette. However, when I went back in 2010 to K&K Mind Convention, they did tell me something. They said, "Hey man, that's you. Nobody does that like you." And I had to understand what they was talking about. Sermons was not the main objective of a song. It was always the song. Mine is the sermon. It kind of flipped it. And I understood that later on through the years about the feedback that I got, from different pastors. Some people don't like it because they think they're competing with the person that's on the track. So it was kind of etchy at first. I mean, it was rough. I got turned away by some people who was in my home city, some even in my home church. So, but it was rough starting out because it was different. But I stayed with it through a lot of persecution. And you still got some people who talk about it, but when God bless your hands to do something and you see the fruit from it, you kind of just shrug off what the people thoughts and people opinions. Right. So exactly. Yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
Exactly. I saw you perform at the gospel celebration. I would say about a month ago, was it? And you got to perform before. You got to perform before Ernest Pugh. What was it like when you talked to him?
Down to earth, man. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how many of these artists, man, they like to talk to people who down to earth. They don't like to talk to people, who idolize them because they go through the same struggles we do, except for they're more known. They're widely known, and a lot of people come to them with the wrong perception. Ernest Pugh is a great artist. As a matter of fact, I think he was nominated for a Stellar Award, I believe.
Yes, he is.
So and I think he was just in North Carolina on last night or the day before yesterday, sometime around then. What a lot of people don't know about him is he goes to a lot of little areas, not just the big arenas and the big gospel celebrations and stuff like that. He goes to a lot of little churches, and not only does he sing, but the Joker could preach.
I believe that. I follow him on most of all his social media sites, and I heard him preach and sing.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, he sort of has like a ministry, sort of like Paulus Morton, Bishop Paulus Morton. Excuse me, I don't mean disrespectful, but Bishop Paulus Morton, and Bishop Paulus Morton is. Everybody, well, I ain't gonna say everybody, but a lot of people know him because he's old school. He came out of Church of God in Christ, but now he got full gospel, and he produced Bishop Joseph Walker as the next carrier and the founder of Full Gospel, and so a lot of people may know his type of ministry, singing, preaching. Ernest Pugh has the same thing, except for he's not like a church-ridden guy. He goes from state to state, city to city, and Bishop Paulus Morton does too. But he doesn't have like a one area place where he functions in. He functions in a lot of places, and I think that's why Bishop Paulus Morton, he gave it to Bishop Joseph Walker, because both of them have similar ministries where they know that they sing and they preach and they can reach a lot of people. So he's not tied down to the churches anymore. Not that he wasn't in the beginning, but he can move about how he wants to now when his calling. So that's what a lot of people don't know about Ernest. And he's the same everywhere he goes. I've seen him twice, but he's the same everywhere he goes. Very, very cool, down-to-earth guy. And I've come to find out, man, this guy's a distant cousin.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Distant cousin.
Distant, huh?
Yeah, distant cousin, but he told me, he said, just claim it. We cousins. I said, yes, sir, we gonna do
that. Hey, man, I see a lot of kids, young kids, that's out here doing their thing in mind. If you have one thing that you can give to them, or one thing you would like to say to them to encourage them to keep moving on, because you've been doing it now for about 20 years, so you got some ideas and some things that you've been through that they're going to be facing. What would it be? What kind of encouragement can you give them?
If you start now, mom, or you continuing in mom, if you're in that type of art ministry, know that it's not just an art. It is a ministry. The things that you have to do to prepare for it, the time that you put in, studying the music. You're a professional at this point. But once you push yourself in front of the people, and if you're doing this for God, then you need to include Him. That's the best results that you can ever get. If you're doing something for God's people, it's only right to include God in what you're trying to do for His people. So always keep Him first. Secondly, I would say this because I see this going on a lot, and it kind of irks me. It's like one of my pet peeves, but I will say it because I have engaged in some. But a lot of people can't have self-control when they do it, and that's avoid competitions. And I would say avoid competitions where you have a prize given to one person and you may not be it, because what it does, it breeds the atmosphere that you are less than if you don't win. And that's not what the body of Christ is supposed to function like. The body of Christ is supposed to function that God gave you a gift, you are adequate enough. Whether anybody recognizes you or not, God will always recognize it. So don't go for man's approval. And that's what sometimes competition breeds, men approval. So be careful when you enter in competition. Understanding that I have done the same thing. Yes, it opened doors. Yes, it gave me some networking. But, it breeds feelings. It breeds that type of spirit in you. And your ministry will be hindered from competition. So avoid being competitive with your next person in your city or a person outside the city. Only you can be you. You are the best you that God ever created. There's no competition in that. Thirdly, I would say study your craft. Know what you're doing. If anybody should ask you at the drop of a dime, you should be able to explain what you do, why you do it, where you function and operate in, because there will be environments where your gift will not operate in. And that's scripture. There are places that Paul, he was a preacher, he was an apostle, but there were places that the Holy Spirit forbid him not to go because he wasn't supposed to function in the area. Even with Jesus' ministry, he told him, those people are for the Gentiles. I have not been called to them. I've been called to the house of Israel. So he's letting you know that there are certain restrictions on where you go. There's certain restrictions on where you'll be where your gift would be optimum. So you got to learn where your environments, where you can grow. Every plant is not going to grow in the desert, and every plant would not flourish with water, or bottled water, I would say. So I would just say, know what you're doing, know why you're doing it, know where you operate the best at, and stay submitted to your leader. If you don't have a leader, that's what you need. You need a covering, and that's a must. If you do it without a covering, you set yourself up, to be a reprobate person. Being out here and just doing, things, and you become prideful because you don't have anybody keeping you in check. But that covering serves as a purpose to keep you in check, to keep you lying, keep you humble. But also that cover is supposed to serve a purpose to produce whatever you're trying to do faster. In Highway 55, I used to work there, and in order to cook a burger, you could put it on the grill, but it's going to cook about 6.5 minutes. But there was a silver top that we placed on the burger, and that burger cooked faster just because we put that top on it. The same thing can be used as the covering in the church. That pastor is the covering for your ministry. It produces you faster to where you want to be by his teaching, or by her teaching, by her knowledge, or by his knowledge, or by their correction. Don't be afraid to take correction, because you never know who your ministry is going to approach, and whatever they correcting you on, or whatever they're instructing you on, may come into use. It will come to you sooner or later. So be listeners, not talkers. Be listeners, especially with your leaders. Be listeners. Always be aware when other people around you that know more. Always take notes. Don't get prideful. Say, well, I know this. We know you know it. Just listen at this moment.
Right.
So that's what things I would say. That's what helped me greatly in this. And I would say one more thing, and this is key. Your ministry is not contingent on money. That is not the proof of how great you are. Just because you take a free event, that don't mean that you're not professional. I've seen a lot of professional people who claim to be professional. They get paid $500 or $600, maybe sometimes $1,000, $1,500, but they don't know how to be on time. They don't know how. They don't study their craft enough. They're not good with people. They're not good with networking. They produce anything and put it before God's people just so they can get a check. That's not being professional. Professional is not money related. Professional is your art, your ministry, your lifestyle behind it, and how the people perceive you and how you perceive the people.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So,
one more question I have. You was talking earlier about some of the blessings that has been stored upon you since you've been doing this mime dancing with meeting Shirley Caesar. And I do believe that you was on the Bobby Jones show, correct?
Yes, sir.
Tell the people about some of the blessings that have been stored upon you.
2017. Matter of fact, it was 2017 that I worked with Pastor Shirley Caesar also. But 2017, I went to Bobby Jones in Nashville, Tennessee. That trip was not afforded to me by anybody. I had to pay for that. Yes, they picked the video for me to come, but I still had to pay for that showtime, the airtime, and all of that. So sometimes in order for you to get those, the blessings and stuff that you bestowed upon you, you have to act. You have to. It's not one of the things where you sit around and wait for you to come. Some things you have to go and get it. So by me doing that opened up doors, like for the Atlanta Gospel Choice Awards. I was nominated for an award down there for Best Mime. Then years after that, I worked with, I forgot what was her name, the lady that sang Give Me You. I forgot her name, but she was in Virginia, and I was on the same platform with her. Dorinda Clark Plaza with Dr. Dorinda Clark Cole. I worked. I was on the same program with her in Farmville. Carolyn Trader, she's also at Bobby Jones. She's on There's a Story Behind My Praise, and I think everybody named Mama know that song. Yeah, she was there. And many other ones, and many other great people that I did not get named because that list would be so long. But I worked with a lot of great pastors, a lot of great singers, a lot of great preachers, a lot of great executives I have met, networked with, just because I was obedient and stayed consistent, and I stayed faithful. And it's not. I'm not saying it's not easy at all. But if you love it, if you love what you're doing, if you love who you're doing it for, then you'll make do. You're trying to figure out the best way to stay consistent. If you're all in, that's if you're all in. That's a big if, because some people say they are, but when it's time to put in the work, they want it to be handed to you. So some things are not handed to you. Some things you have to go get. And as a result of you acting, other things become opportunities to you because of what you took that first step. Now, with that being said, y'all, I was gonna drop it on Facebook, but since we on y'all show, so could I drop some news on y'all that I haven't dropped with nobody else?
Drop it.
Okay. All right. So about a week and a half ago, I got an email from Atlanta that I was nominated for another Gospel Choice Awards this year.
You is all right with me. That is awesome.
ATL.
ATL.
My man.
Yes, sir. So that takes place in June 28th through the 30th. That's going to be at the Atlanta International Convention Center. And again, I still got to pay hotel fees. I still got to pay all of that. But the opportunity is there. If you get nominated for that, people see you. And it's not just about being seen, but it's who you put that. Is when they put that light on you, who do you project that back to? Who do you reflect that back to? Who you transmit that to? If you take it for yourself, then you're there for the wrong reason. My job, my intent, and my earnest prayer is that when they nominate me, or them nominate me already, but should win, I would like to dedicate that, first back to God, second my family, but then also to the people that's coming up, that's trying to attain something, in ministry. You don't have to be in the world to be successful. You don't have to be a drug dealer for you to be successful. God can produce success right out of you being where you need to be. And I think a lot of young people need to see that, because there's only one way they're seeing it. Rap game, drug game, whatever that is, it's outside the church. And that is one of the biggest lies that's ever been told. The church has a lot of successful people in it, and because of church. So I would just like that to be, a kind of an example to people. Yeah, I wasn't always in church. I wasn't always a good boy. I was bad. I used to get whoopings every day. Charles know.
I thought you was a good kid. My bad.
Oh no! Look, I had a telephone number for the devil.
Now, cuz I don't know. Cuz I don't believe that. In my head, I thought you was. In my head, I'm thinking you a good kid. So.
No, hey, fill it in, talking. Fill it in. With stories like that, you bring it up, bring your past up, what God delivered you from, and then people see the, sort of the finished product, and it's not finished. I'm not nowhere near finished, but people will look at it as a finished product. With Dexter, you have this nomination, or you've been with these people. If you knew my past, you will understand why you can't brag. And keep you humble. I was bad. I got suspended. I was disrespectful. I didn't respect my elders, but God still chose me some way to use me. I cannot be braggadocious in this. I can't do this because I know it's not about my own help. Had he been one of them guys that just wrote me off, I'd probably be dead, just like some of my classmates that didn't make it out. But I'm the one who's carrying his word. It puts you in a humbling position. And that's what I want to project back to the community, back to the church, back to the world. You do not have to be perfect for God to use you.
Exactly.
That's right.
I still can't believe you was bad. I can't get past that right now.
Oh, my God.
He was bad, and he's an Eagles fan. It's double trouble.
Dang. Because we was cool up to the Eagles part. You know what? You still my favorite cousin. But still, I can't believe you was bad.
Yeah, I was bad.
I don't believe that. I think you lying to me. I don't believe that.
You don't?
No.
Well, go back to Acklin and go look at some of my teachers. They'll tell you.
You said look
at me.
So Dex, tell the people out there how they can get in contact with you if they need you.
You can reach me by my Facebook page. You can look up the Minister of Mine. you can look up my first and last name, which is Dexter Acklin. Right now, still working on the website. Also, if you need me for any services, any event booking, or just kind of motivational speaking, you can email me at dexteracklin28@gmail.com, and that is spelled DEXTERACKLIN, the number 28@gmail.com, and I will get back with you. Just let me know what kind of event it is, what you need, whether it's instructing, whether it's just come to speak to the youth or to the grown folks, because grown folks need it too. They love it too. So whatever it is, you can get in contact with me by those.
Well, Dexter, I enjoyed talking with you and laughing with you, but I still don't believe you was a bad kid. I still don't believe that. But it was wonderful talking to you. I done learned so much new stuff about you that I didn't know. Like being bad.
Oh, we still on that?
We still on that. But I thank you for coming on my show today. It really means the world to me, and I greatly appreciate it. Very much.
Hey, I appreciate y'all for having me. Thank y'all for having me.
I still can't believe you was bad.
Oh.
Hello? You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, I thought you had hung up.
Oh, no, I ain't hung up.
So, where's the lovely wife?
Lovely wife is right around the corner. Give me 1 second.
Hello.
Well, hello, Miss Brittany. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. So, I heard you are from Germany.
I was born in Germany. My parents were in the military. So I was only there for about 2 years.
Did you like it?
I don't remember it.
But first start off, I would like to thank you for coming on my show today. It means the world to me that my favorite cousin came up here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So tell me how you got started baking.
It started as one of those things where I wasn't really good at it at first, but me being a stay-at-home mom, I started looking at some cooking shows, and I put my foot to it and started practicing at home. And once I started focusing on that and paid attention to it, I started to realize I was really good at it. And it went from me just sharing it at home to sharing it with family, and to sharing it with strangers, and it went from there.
That is really awesome. So I like the name Humble Bakes. How did you come up with that?
Humble Bakes, I believe it was something that God had given to me because I started out, I would like to call it a humble beginning. I didn't have much. I just used what was in front of me, and I put the pedal to the metal. Most people think if you have a dream, you have to have money or different things to start it, and it may be that case for certain situations, but with this, God showed me to use what was in front of me, and so the name Humble Bakes came about.
I heard you make a mean strawberry crunch cake.
Yeah, that's everyone's favorite.
So what else do you bake?
I bake pies. I bake other signature crunch cakes like the pineapple crunch cake, the blueberry crunch cake, which is a new one that came out this year. And there's still some more recipes coming out pretty soon.
Oh, so would you mind sharing with us?
One in particular would be the banana pudding crunch cake.
Never mind.
That's coming out pretty soon in the spring. I'm testing out flavors. So just be looking at out for that. And how you can do that, you can follow me on my Facebook page with the name Humble Bakes, and that's where we share upcoming sales and upcoming cakes and new things that's coming up.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, I heard you did an event, a taste testing event a while back. So how did that turn out for you?
It was a focus group, and I had a collaborator called, whose name was Jerry Ash. She's an event planner, and she just helped me to get things off the ground as far as how is people going to know how my food tasted if it hadn't been brought out there. And so she came up with the idea of a focus group where we had a gathering of friends and strangers to come in and just try a different select desserts that and to give their opinion on it, so it will give me feedback on what to do for my upcoming business. And it turned out absolutely great.
Hey, Brittany.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
That's good. That's good. I got a question for you, Brittany. How long have you been baking?
For about 3 years.
So you just getting started baking about 3 years, and
yeah.
I'm taking that Humble Bakes is just only desserts, correct?
Yes, just desserts.
Will you be moving into doing other things eventually, or are you just going to stick it out with just desserts?
For right now, just desserts. I'm gonna stay in my lane. I can't say no, because I don't know how God will work. But right now, it's just gonna be desserts for me.
Okay. And making the desserts, I'm sure it takes a lot of time. And I know that the strawberry crunch cake is one of your signatures, and you probably make the most of. About how long does it take to make that type of cake?
I guess it depends, because you have to consider the baking and the assembling is not the time consuming. It's the refrigeration and allowing it to set so that the cake can come together. And that could go for about 3 hours to overnight, depending on when the customer needs it and in the time frame. So,
how long does it take for you to actually make each dish?
It depends. Like I said, it depends. If it's a crunch cake, like I said, 3 hours to overnight. But if it's a regular basic cake, at the most 2 hours from scratch.
From scratch?
And you making these cakes from scratch, correct?
Yes. Well, most of my cakes are made from scratch. Certain special cakes are manipulated, and what I mean by manipulated, you can use box cakes, but I put my own spin to it.
Okay.
So, any, what's the word I'm looking for? Any upcoming events you have to bake for or anything?
Not right now. I just did a vision board party, expressing what just happened, me starting off my business, and I shared a sample of my cakes. Basically, it's just people ordering cakes for, particular occasion, like weddings, anniversary, birthdays, things like that. And I also vend at different events, too.
Oh, that is awesome. That is really wonderful.
There's a lot of people, Brittany, that are looking to start their own business. And I know that you just recently started Humble Bakes. Maybe you have some encouraging words to throw out there to people, though, to keep pushing. Even though you're going to come across a lot of obstacles, to still keep pushing.
I would say that it's scary. I'm going to be truthful with you, but just follow the path that God has you on. Use what's in front of you. You don't need a whole bunch of lot to start a dream or, a goal. You just use what you have and let God do the leading. For me, I didn't have a lot of money, but I knew how to bake and I knew a lot of people. And so that's where it began. Make connections, the right connections, and you'll be surprised at where it takes you.
Okay.
Awesome.
And your ultimate goal, I'm sure, is to have your multi-millionaire bakery out there several different locations?
Absolutely.
Good. I'm waiting on that. I'm sure it's going to happen soon.
Yeah.
So have you made?
Yeah, I'm waiting to see you there too.
I would be there front and center as long as you got some strawberry crunch cake and a pineapple cake.
Okay, I got you.
Matter of fact, I just take strawberry crunch cake. That's like I guess you just sit there and eat it with a fork. I'm not even gonna cut it. I'm just gonna eat it with a fork.
That's no problem.
Now people can
That's no problem.
go to your website, Humble Bakes, and see all the cakes that you offer, all the cakes and pies that you offered. And would it be able to have a price, get a price, or do they have to contact you in order to get a price?
I'm actually, our website is under construction, so we have a page, a Facebook page. You can follow me through social media. And each month we have a menu, which the prices are attached to the menu. So we're very blank open there. We don't cover prices. You don't have to call me. We'll share it with you openly. And if you have any questions, you can email me at humblebakes1@gmail.com or message me through Facebook at the Humble Bakes page through Messenger.
And if somebody wants to order the cake, how do they pay for the cake?
You can pay and order through cash if you're local, or you can do it through Cash App at Humble with the $ Humble Bakes, and that's how you can pay through for Humble Bakes for a cake.
Awesome.
Now, how far are you willing to travel?
Within the areas of Pitt, Green, Beaufort, and even Wilson. For right now, like I said, it's a new business. It's a baby, and sometimes you gotta crawl before you walk.
Right.
So you're still crawling.
So me starting off, I wouldn't be the end goal is to sell in California, but I wouldn't just be delivering a cake by Friday in California.
Okay.
Tomorrow or something like that. So,
Or you need somebody to deliver one in California? I'll go. Oh,
sure.
I mean, yeah, okay, here's the deal. If you make the cake and we gotta take it to California, just make me a strawberry crunch cake in return. That's all I ask for.
Okay, I'm just gonna make you a strawberry crunch cake, period. Because that's what it's at.
Hey, don't make Chauncey one, because that's my cake by itself.
Okay.
So, any events you plan on doing this summer, or any any events you have coming up this summer you want to do, or any vendors you want to go to?
I'm basically right now, my schedule's open for any kind of vending events that anybody wants me to be a part of. The event that I'm working on for my own company, we're in the works of that. It's a sweet treat kind of thing. It's an event to be able for everybody to experience Humble Bakes and then share the buzz around people, because there's still a lot of people that don't know. So
right.
We'll be updating people about it pretty soon and keep you in the loop.
Well, you know what, that is all right with me. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. That meant the world to me.
You're welcome.
Coming on today, and I get to hear your new recipes before everybody. You are the real MVP. That's why I love the both of y'all. I really appreciate it. We got to interview y'all and, got to know a little bit more about y'all too. And I am forever grateful for that.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank y'all for supporting us.
You are more than welcome. You know me. I can't turn down a strawberry crunch cake. That's like a whole dinner by itself.
Right.
But I support y'all in everything y'all do. It's a blessing to have such young, talented young people like yourselves, because you really don't find too many of them.
Oh, that's so sweet.
But I love y'all, and I thank y'all for coming on once again.
We love you too, and thank you for having us. We appreciate y'all.
No problem. Y'all. Enjoy the rest of your night.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, you guys, that was the interview from Brittany and Dexter Acklin. You got to hear about them more. That's the end of my show. Thank you for tuning in. Also, I want to give a shout out to Jay Woo. Thanks for that hot beat. Send some more my way, and I'll talk to you again soon.